Here is another pap smear. If you would like to look at it for a long time and realize that there are no atypical cells, you might feel like you did this woman a great service by telling her she doesn't have any premalignant cellular changes. If you looked at it even longer, you would first of all see that there's not much by way of inflammatory cells around here, so you probably might not expect an inflammatory disease. And if you were really experienced and had good eyes, and better than mine, you might occasionally run into cells that are very tricky. And I don't mean that from a pun point of view. Trichomonas is a tricky disease. Trichomonas organisms can easily look like normal squamous cells, but the nucleus is not quite as well defined. It's a very common disease. 7 million women get it a year in this country. It may or may not be associated with symptoms. It's a sexually transmitted disease. And quite frankly, I bet you I have missed trick every day of the week because they look like they have a vague nucleus. Even though they're flagellated, you don't see the flagella, which is why it's probably better to look at them while the patient is in the OB/GYN doc's office and he does a wet mount. And when he does a wet mount, you may possibly see something like this, because if you put the light just right, you could see them very, very nicely surrounded by light. And sometimes you could imagine that the little flagella is coming out. And look, there's a flagella right there. And there's a flagella right there. And if you don't believe me, I'll turn up the contrast and the brightness, and hopefully you'll be able to see the flagellum a little bit better. We'll do a little bit more with the contrast here. There you go. See the flagella there? See the flagella there? See the flagella there? This is trick. I also want to show you another picture of it from a pap smear, which was not part of this case, in which, in all honesty, on even a good day, you might look at this quickly and think it's just a squamous cell, but you haven't really noticed the fact that the nucleus is kind of fuzzy and has kind of an oval shape like a protozoan. These little dots obviously are just bacteria out here. One of the most common organisms on a pap smear, Trichomonas vaginalis. Thank you very much.